Helicopters. For years, these flying cancer wagons have terrorized ground RB, whether they're spamming you with rockets at the beginning of a game, or waffle stomping your team with ATGMs from the other side of the map. They are one of, if not the most annoying things to deal with in Warthunder. However, I believe I found the goofiest, the silliest, and quite possibly the most comedic method of dealing with these flying tumors. But why are biplanes my weapon of choice for destroying enemy helicopters? It mostly comes down to the tactics helicopter pilots typically use. See, most helicopter pilots tend to be, well, cognitively stunted to say the least. Meaning that you can bet they'll do one of two things. Number one is what I've dubbed the bum rush. This typically happens at the very start of a match. They'll spawn in on the airfield closest to the battlefield with enough rockets to level Malaysia, then fly directly towards your spawn. Once they reach their destination, they'll start frantically spewing their rockets on anything that even vaguely resembles a tank. While all this is going down, your entire team will be mag dumping their MGs in the helicopter's general direction, which usually results in them eating a significant number of those rounds, and crashing. All in all, this isn't very difficult to counter. It's more of a mild annoyance than an actual threat. The second tactic, on the other hand, is not only annoying, but also capable of ruining your game. And when you're playing as a tank, there's usually nothing you can do.
For the love of God! Please! Damn!
I'm of course referring to ATGM camping. The bastards who do this are the single most annoying things to deal with in ground RB. If you're somehow unaware of these horrors, then allow me to enlighten you. ATGM campers are a subspecies of helicopter pilots that evolved slightly larger brains. This enabled them to realize that if they clicked on the secondary weapons menu in the spawn screen, they could bring something other than copious amounts of dumbfire rockets to the battle. However, this comes at the cost of additional spawn points, which can often be quite difficult for the poor things to obtain. Because of this, if a helicopter pilot does manage to use its grubby little mitts to scrape up the required SP, it'll play super defensively so that its hard work doesn't go to waste. Most often, they'll remain locked in place above the helipad they spawned at. One could almost mistake it for a barnacle if it weren't for the constant fucking stream of laser-guided shit sticks flying out of it. Now, you could always spawn in SPAA or a jet to try and take him down that way, but that's boring. And more importantly, instead, as stated previously, use a biplane. Let me explain. Unlike high-tier jets, biplanes are tiny and almost inaudible until they get within a few hundred feet of their targets. And due to their high maneuverability, they can hug the ground with ease, making them incredibly difficult for the average helicopter pilot's motion-based lizard brain to spot. Because of this, the helicopter usually doesn't notice you until you're already hosing it down with lead, but even if it does spot you and tries to react, you're maneuverable enough to stay on it. Also, it's just plain rewarding. Not only do you get to humiliate them by taking out their state-of-the-art war machine with a glorified crop duster, but you also get a nice bonus of 30,000 silver lions due to the God Mode medal. Now, I know what you're thinking, but Mr. Bucket, if they're camping at their base, won't the anti-aircraft gun shred you the moment you get close? Surprisingly, no. The AA guns at helicopter bases miss in nearly every shot, and even if you do take a straight round, it will do literally no damage. The only thing that makes them dangerous is their ability to reveal your position to the chopper you're stalking, since they fire nothing but big fat tracers. But even then you don't have to worry, because as stated previously, helicopter pilots are really, really stupid. So even if there's a literal glowing dotted line pointing to your location, they still won't see you. Just make sure that as you're flying towards the helicopter, you avoid passing directly over the battlefield, otherwise you'll probably get bitch slapped by a pantisser. So to summarize, when using your biplane to hunt helicopters, fly low until you reach your victim and avoid any other vehicles on the way. Once you get close, make sure you aim for the cockpit. Most of the fuselage is rendered as empty space, so killing the crew is the only reliable way to win. Not only is killing helicopters this way humiliating for the enemy, but it also earns you a nice 30k Silverline bonus. So yeah, I hope you use this knowledge to send as many helicopters as you can back to hell, where they belong. If you found my psychotic ramblings entertaining, then I'd highly appreciate it if you like, sub, and comment telling me if this strategy works for you. Also, consider joining my Discord server. I know I phrased that like a request, but it isn't. It's a demand. If you don't, I will steal your cottage cheese. Okay, goodbye.